Welcome everyone. My name is 12 Gauge. Welcome to my channel, 12 Gauge Investigative. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for being here. Happy Thursday to you all. It is 12/12/2026. Hope everybody's doing well. The question that's on everybody's mind is, where is Nancy? Where is Nancy Guthrie? I know you probably see multitudes of shows. They have their speculation, their understanding, or even their rational thought about this. But I still must ask the question, where is Nancy? I'm going to show you a video. It's by Inside Edition. And I thought it was interesting because they gave a correlation of FBI techniques that often aren't talked about. So I'm going to talk about it tonight, though. And this is the famous video surveillance that they released, the FBI did. And as you can see in this video, the eyes and the mouth are in color. So you ask yourself, how did that happen? Well, let's listen and see how they do it.
New image of the kidnapped suspect at the home of Savannah Guthrie's mom. It was created by internet sleuths using a technique called reverse infrared technology.
Okay, reversed infrared technology. So think about that a little bit. It's interesting to understand that there is a process that you can see the reverse infrared camera footage in almost a colored state. Boy, wouldn't this have been great in the Idaho case? We could have seen those black and white infrared videos that most of us sat there and watched for multitudes of time on the screen, wondering and wishing, if only we could see this in color. Could we really have an understanding of who and what really went down on Linda Lane? What really went down in other multitudes of area? Well, hello there, warning label. Thank you for being here. This reverse infrared technology could have helped so much, and I'm not saying that they didn't use this in the Idaho 4 case. Maybe that's how they saw things on that 11/12 cam that many of us can't see. Let's continue watching this because this is quite interesting.
And shows features like eyebrows, flesh, and parts of a mustache. The FBI continues to harvest the 44-second video of the intruder for every possible clue.
You can be sure that they are working on, if you will, a composite based on the eyes, based on the mouth. We do think we see a mustache. Perhaps there's a beard under that mask as well.
See, I believe the person had big eyes like she does. It could very well be a woman. I've heard multitudes of people talking about, that's a woman underneath that mask. That's a woman underneath that mask. I don't disagree there. I don't disagree with that statement at all. Because women seem to have bigger eyes sometimes than men. And like she does. I'm not saying she's the one that did it, but if you look at her eyeballs, they kind of bug out a little bit.
Well,
using the bricks on Nancy's front entrance as a guide, experts believe the suspect's height is 5'9" to 5'8".
5'9" to 5'11". Damn, we don't have no 6 foot, 185 pound, slender, kind of athletic build, almost like a basketball player. Isn't that sad how you remember certain damn things from that other case? It just flies out your mouth. But this dude seems to be 5'9" to 5'11", and he seems to be a little heavier set. I think they say 230.
11. His weight up to 230 pounds.
Okay, so this is a stockier dude. So if it's a female, she's pretty good size then. 5'9" to 5'11", 230 pounds. and you say the eyebrows look plucked and shaped. Okay, I'll give you that. So if this was a female, they're pretty good size. That's a good size female.
His shoes appear large, possibly a size 12, based on the size of the tiles. His clothes are also producing intriguing clues. That ski mask has unique stitching. Notice the seams around the eyes and mouth. It's just like this mask, which can be bought for $22. The whole
Did you see that mask? Let's back that up a minute. Isn't that interesting how he said intense stitching like this right here? If you look at the intense stitching around this mask, that's exactly what he's talking about.
mouth. It's just like
This one right here. Isn't it interesting how how this fucking case, excuse my language, how this freaking case, how everybody's wearing a mask now to commit these crimes? Look at that stitching. That's what he's talking about. The stitching is very direct around the mouth and very thick stitching. So he said you can buy that at Walmart for 22 bucks and size 12 shoe. You're right.
this mask, which can be bought for $22. The holster isn't fancy at all. It's made of nylon and sells at sporting goods stores in Tucson, also for $22.
If only this person would have dropped the freaking holster. I was thinking that yesterday when this morning I was talking to somebody on the phone and we were joking about this. I said, you know what? That is the real Idaho 4 killer right there. He got pissed off because Koberger took the route, flew to Arizona because he knew that's where one of the victims came from. So he wanted to abduct somebody else, wear the mask, have the holster, and have the backpack. Backpack. Hey, Walt Harris, how you doing, buddy? I was joking around with this person about that because those of you that have been around for the Idaho 4 case, and if you haven't, and you're barely picking up on that case, where have you been for 3 years? Where have you been? I feel so comical in my mind when I hear and see people's videos on that case these days. And I'm like, where were you 3 years ago? But anyways, enough about that damn case. We're talking about this individual right here, 5'9" to 5'11", 230 pounds.
Several firearms experts say he's armed with what appears to be a 9mm handgun.
9mm handgun. I'm not trying to racial profile here, but aren't Hispanics between 5'9" and 5'11", most of them? And most of them are in the stockier range, right? You can get Caucasian people to be that range as well, but most in that area could be Hispanic descent.
Possibly a Glock. And those gloves are made of a
You know, I saw some chat the other day and I died laughing. Is there anybody here with me? Say hello if you're here with me. Tip the hat. And get this, you're gonna laugh. Somebody said in a chat that I was watching the other day that these gloves looked metal. They looked like they were metallic, like they were metal, like they were metal gloves. Have you ever seen a criminal go to a crime scene wearing metal gloves? But you do look here, they do look like those black nitro gloves, and it looks like he has some kind of, I don't know what that, it looks almost like a cuff, like something wrapped around the gloves at the bottom where it doesn't, see that little tie right there? I wouldn't say it's a zip tie, but it very well could be. Do you see that? Let me know if you see that.
synthetic rubber called
Because they're on both sides in that video, they're on both sides. So think about that a minute. These nitro gloves with a white zip tie looking thing at the bottom to hold them in place so nothing gets in under the glove. These holes are off centered. It drives me crazy to look at that. Does it not drive you crazy, or is it just me with the OCD? And look at the mouth. It's like the mouth has a cleft palate or something. You know what I mean? I'm not making fun of anybody or anything. I'm just making observations.
Nitrile. Nitrile gloves like these are often worn by plumbers and gas station employees because they don't disintegrate when they come in contact with oil and other chemicals. We bought a pack of 100 of these for just $10, and they look very similar to the ones worn by the intruder.
It looked very similar by many of people that commit crimes. And didn't they find the glove like that in the yard?
And the flashlight he held in his mouth, we bought a similar one for $30. The backpack is also drawing a lot of attention. Internet sleuths say it may be an Ozark brand, which has similar straps and reflective.
So, maybe an Ozark brand because it has reflective bands. Okay. But those reflective bands are on the front. These are, okay, they're on the front. So it would be, yeah, I see it. What do y'all see? Do y'all see that? Jeff H, do you see that? Thank you for being here, buddy. Walmart lists this backpack as Ozark Trail Hiker Backpack, 25-liter, black polyester adult tan. All right. So if it had those reflective bands, I did a short today on that where they were showing this guy, and I'll go into that here in a minute.
Bands. Unfortunately, the infrared video does not reveal color. Forensic.
There you go. There you have it from a professional. Infrared camera does not reveal color. Did you hear that out loud for the people in the back? Infrared cameras cannot reveal color. Wouldn't that have been nice to know if they would have done this type of video on the Idaho 4? This dude's so cheap, probably does YouTube live from his sun porch. 22, and how much with the backpack? I don't know, $15, $20, $60 to commit a crime, right? So infrared cameras, one more time, do not detect color.
Video analyst Connor McCourt tells our Allison Hall.
While that jacket may appear gray in this video, it's not necessarily gray.
Right. So with infrared cameras, black and white cameras, it can invert the color. A light colored jacket in the video could be a black jacket. It could be a red jacket. It could be a blue jacket.
Authorities are paying attention to the suspected kidnapper's gait. The way he walks is potentially a vital clue.
There is technology that is directly aimed at
so think about facial recognition, because they are going to talk about that here in a second. But before he jumps on that, think about the infrared camera. How back and forth we went on that on this channel regarding that other case. And Jeff said there's also low on the straps and X in a square pattern seen on Nancy's house video and on the Walmart site. All right, cool.
identifying people based upon the way they move and walk. That signature is as powerful as facial recognition.
I mean, have we not identified, not identified, have we not spoken on how people walk? Did we not talk about, and I bring up Koberger because he's still out there, you know, his case is worldwide known and it's easy to talk about. We talked about his gait at the very beginning, how he could have walked, how he did walk. And when we found out exactly how he did walk, it was no surprise to any of us who really understood gait. This guy has a very distinctive gait, kind of like the person that killed the fitness instructor in Midlothian. Very similar, not similar as in It could be the same person, but very similar gait.
Recognition.
His calm, unhurried demeanor is drawing attention.
He's familiar with this house either because he's been there before.
There's our friend Jennifer Coffindaffer. She said he found his house comfortable because he could have been there before. What do y'all think about that statement?
Or because somebody told him about where that camera was, and he wouldn't have to worry about anybody coming up on him during this abduction.
And look, lights behind him may suggest there's a getaway car.
See, I don't know about those lights. It kind of gives me Sebastian Rogers vibes. And those of you that followed that case, you remember those lights that people went round and round and round and round about. Those lights in the background. I don't know if those are car lights. They could very well be. I'm not saying one way or the other, but they very well could be. I know there's some light-ish stuff in the background. I give it that. But whether it's car lights, I'm not quite so sure. It could be, though. I didn't think there was a road that far back. Here's the driveway right here for sure.
Could he have an accomplice behind the wheel? FBI agents are out in force in Tucson today, going door to door, searching for anything that may lead them to Savannah's mom, now missing for 11 days.
And you know, that is the biggest point right there. She's been missing for 11 days. 11 days without her mother. I can't imagine being in that position. I can't. You know? And here's another one from News Nation. They have released the suspect's description, have they? See, so much happens while I'm at work. I can't keep up with it all. If y'all have already seen this, I'm sorry. It's first time for me, so maybe we can watch it together. Let's see what they say.
Out in Tucson, Arizona, and there is breaking news tonight and major developments in the search for Nancy Guthrie. The FBI now raising its reward to $100,000 for information leading to her location or the arrest of whoever is responsible for this. The FBI also releasing a new description of the suspect, saying he's described as a man.
So there you have it. 5'9", 5'10" tall with an average build. In the video, he is wearing a black 25-liter Ozark Trail hiker pack backpack. So he was 230 pounds, they said on Inside Edition. I don't know where they got that weight, but that's what they said.
Male, approximately 5 feet 9 inches tall to 5 feet 10 inches tall. They describe him as having an average build. And you'll remember 48 hours ago, give or take, when
those of you in the chat, can you help me out with what an average build is? Because I haven't been average built in decades. What's an average build to y'all? Is that like smaller shoulders, just kind of up and down, or real apple shaped? I mean, what's an average build to y'all? Because we all have a different variation of what an average build looks like. I've always questioned that.
they put out that surveillance video, or that video, the doorbell video from Nancy Guthrie's home, we saw that man with a backpack on. The FBI is now describing that backpack as saying it is just like this one right here, a 25-liter.
There you go. And that's what Jeff was saying just a couple minutes ago. There you go. There it is. Isn't this so interesting to be able to see this stuff go down in real time without it being gagged, without us having time to have conspiracies out the wazoo? They're actually showing you what it looks like.
Ozark Trail hiker pack. So the reward's been increased. That backpack, at least the type, has been identified, and now they are describing that man who was in the surveillance video as about 5 feet 9, 5 feet 10. This, of course, happened today when we saw investigators going into Nancy Guthrie's home with a height meter. And now it seems the answer to that question of what could possibly come from that, a description or at least information about that person. Eric O'Neill back with me. So too is our Brian Enton live on the ground.
A height meter. That's interesting. That's interesting to me. All this is interesting because it's totally different investigation than most of the stuff we've seen in the true crime genre.
There in Tucson. Brian, this is brand new from the FBI, and it seems substantial.
Yeah, it's brand new from the FBI. We haven't had a suspect description yet, and I'm glad you read it because it's really important. Hopefully someone will recognize something. I wanted to show you, though, just do something a little different to give you some perspective, show you what the street is like out here on Nancy Guthrie Street. It's packed, by the way, with media. You can see the cars go up and down the entire street. But I wanted to give you the perspective of what it looks like driving through the neighborhood. You look to the right here. I mean, this is what the yards look like. They're very, very dense with cactuses and vegetation and rocks. And each house, I would say, is on.
I mean, could some of the blood that was on the concrete, could he have pricked himself with a cactus and that be his blood on the doorstep that Brian found? Could that possibly be his blood? And maybe not maybe not Nancy's blood. What do y'all think about that? Just seeing all those cactus and all the stuff like that. I mean, I grew up in West Texas, so it's so easy to walk by a mesquite tree, not even intending to, get pricked by a thorn, and damn, you're bleeding without even realizing it. The same thing with the cacti.
On 1 to 4 acres.
I mean, look
so
at that.
You can get a sense of like how remote it is. This is actually Nancy Guthrie's house right here that we're driving by. You can see the sheriff's patrol car is in the front yard, and they're keeping an eye on everything right now. That front door beyond the vegetation here is where they had the tent up earlier, where they were actually.
I mean, because there's the doorway right there. So look, there's some cacti right there. We didn't see him get pricked in the video. But what are the odds that going through this yard, you didn't hit a mesquite tree? You didn't hit any of this cactus? I mean, either going in or out, whether you took Nancy with you, whether you were going in. I mean, because let's face it, let's be honest. I don't know how y'all feel about this case, but the dude didn't look like a professional to me. Not that I know very many professional abductors, but he didn't look like he was very fluid in what he was trying to do. He looked like he was making it up as he was going along. How many of you, whether you watch this on replay or whether you're watching it right now and you're just not chatting, how many of you, honestly, would grab some brush and try to put it over the camera to conceal yourself? How many of you would do that? Because there's the doorway right there. The camera would have been right here. He reached down in this little flower bed to grab some brush to try to conceal himself. How many of you would do that? Let's see what some of these comments say. Do you think in the driveway video the guy is using a backpack in his hand to hide his face in the same manner the guy on Nancy's doorstep uses? Possibly. I will show that here in a minute. I'm guessing it's Nancy's from grabbing her. She had surface bruising, and I'm guessing that's how she bled. Okay. And that's true because, the older you get, the thinner skin we have, and, that could be impossible. But I was wondering, just looking at all this going, damn, as careful as you are, I've walked through more open places than this and ended up pricking myself.
Checking to figure out what the height was. And then as we come by, you see on the other side of the house, again, just a huge area just full of vegetation, trees, cactuses.
Or look at those rocks. I mean, I'm just speaking right now. I'm just speaking, okay? I'm asking those questions we all want asked. What are the odds that this person came up to paved street? Would he have chanced it going through that little rubbled area, or would he have taken her back on the street? Because if you're abducting someone, it's harder to be seen going along the tree line than it is to be abducting them straight into the street. Do you believe that that camera even got him taking her out? The back door, the front door, was there a camera on the roof? I thought they were saying a couple of days ago. Did they see anything? Have they reported any of that? Do you believe that she went out the back door? What do y'all think? Give me your thoughts, because I'm not well versed on this case. I'm going to tell you that.
Grass, rocks. I mean, it's dense out here.
Hmm.
And this is what continues down the street. Here's the neighbor's house, by the way, so it's quite a ways away from Nancy's. And if you look
Wow.
forward, I'm going to have Mo show you to the front. You can see mountains in the background. I mean, it's remote out here. Look how long the cars go, by the way. I mean, this is all the media that's out here. And it twists and it winds around, which is why I believe whoever did this knew their way in and out of the neighborhood. And I think I told you earlier, I have to use my GPS every night to get in and out of here. And I've been here for almost 2 weeks. Just because it's so confusing, especially at night, because there's literally not one light on out here. They have an ordinance.
Well, of course, look at how this road goes, how it's like circles around, how there's a side road that goes off here, side road that goes off there. I don't know about you guys, but GPS is not really good in areas such as this. So could this person have, I just saw that comment. The strap looks black, but the pad looks gray. The jacket might actually be a green Elantra. I just saw that. That's hilarious. Only we can appreciate the humor, right?
Because, you know, there's all these stargazers. So you're not allowed to have any lights on outside. So it's literally pitch black out here at night, Blake.
So, Brian, I just saw you driving down and then you took a right. We got you obviously eye level there, screen right, and your vehicle there on the left-hand side. You could have gone straight, I take it. Had you not gone right, I guess it leads to my question, how many other options are there for anyone to get out of there?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's very confusing in here. And again, with all the houses set off the road for the most part.
Am I still streaming? Did I get booted? I don't even know anymore. YouTube took down or blocked a video that I did the other day on a gentleman that was on Facebook and he got mugged in his house, almost died. They blocked that video, went against their policies.
Everything kind of looks the same. So there's a couple of different ways in and out of here, at least 3 or 4 that we've counted. And you notice again, just with the houses being set back, that's why we're not seeing a lot of footage. And they're saying, let's go back to January 1st now within a 2-mile radius of where we are and see if anyone has any footage. But it's difficult because the houses are set back. And I actually walked out into the desert 20 feet off the road the other day.
That's what I'm saying. Also is she was 84 years old. How fast could she honestly walk? How fast could she honestly walk? How did they get her out of there so fast? If these questions have already been asked by other people, I don't know. If they have, I'm sorry to ask them. But I'm asking these questions because I'm wondering how quickly could she have really walked out of her residence and into a vehicle? Was it a waiting? Did she get wheeled out? What happened?
And I couldn't even see the road. So I think they're having a hard time finding footage, and hopefully someone's going to look back a month and maybe see something that helps now.
Eric, to Brian's point, as he drives around and as law enforcement there is telling folks, if you have any security or ring, front door footage since January.
Well, we'll stop with that video. Man, this dog will shut up. I don't know who he's barking at. It just keeps on and on and on. Let me get to that video that I did earlier. I can't ever tell anymore if there's anybody in chat or not. That's sad, huh? I used to not have that question. Let me show you. Hopefully one day they'll come back. Here we go. Okay, there's the individual. Even though they blurred his face, here's a backpack and here's a backpack. And I think they focus on this one. That looks like the same backpack to me. I don't know. I don't know what y'all think about that. Well, thanks for that, Walt. I can never tell anymore, buddy. I really can't. You said maybe Siree is the key to this case? Possibly so. Wow. It's just a sad case for reals. It's a sad, sad case. It makes you wonder, what did happen? What did happen? What happened to Nancy Guthrie? I don't have very much more on that case. I really don't. I can show you something funny, though. Hold on a second. This will probably get me copyrighted. I'm not monetized, so I don't give a shit. But, this is always hilarious.
Okay, now don't want to trick our kids. You know, more children get kidnapped at the grocery store than anywhere else.
Hey!
Ah, you got me.
Oh, not quick enough.
Not quick enough, no. No, I was close, though.
You were close.
Would you run and get some milk?
The satire is hilarious, is it not? Like, I mean, I love Family Guy for that because the satire is hilarious to me. Like, oh, you almost got me. Not quick enough.
Be sure to take it from the back.
Oh, I hated that video. I hated that freaking song. I hated that video. I hated it. And MTV would play it non-stop, bro. Non-stop they would play that. Did anybody else like that video? I can't even remember the group that sang it. I think they were called Aha, Take On Me or something with the song.
Chris, where have you been?
I don't know.
I'm gonna go get some oranges, Stewie. Here, hold the rest of these bags for Mommy.
Oh, what brilliant parenting, Lois. Leave a tiny infant with a plastic bag. Oh, I might asphyxiate myself just to teach you a lesson. Here I go. Just like that boy from In Excess. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Good Lord, Lois. Either I was a C-section or you're Wonder Woman.
53.98.
Oh, no. I forgot to go to the bank. I'm a little
I tell you, the satire is hilarious. The satire is hilarious. Let's see. What did Lois do to go to jail? I don't remember this episode.
Welcome back to Channel 5 News at 10. For those of you wondering what I've been writing down as we go to commercial, it's a cat. just a cat.
In other news, police are still looking for the culprit who stole a valuable Matisse painting from the Quahog Museum of Art.
A Matisse painting.
Oh no, Rupert, we're out of gas. We better ask directions at that creepy and possibly haunted house.
All right, now, is that everything you stole? You know, you really should talk to a therapist about this. I mean,
Okay. I got it now. So Lois stole some expensive stuff from the museum. If you're not into Family Guy, I recommend it. You know what I mean? I deeply recommend it. But the weekend is upon us. I don't know what you guys have going on, but I am going on a road trip. And it's been a tough week, really, honestly. I went to court today. Got to listen to the disposition, not really the disposition, it was a detention hearing. So, a detention hearing, if you're gonna like it to the adult court, it would be kind of like you're out on bail, that would be the conditions of release. You violate your bail, so therefore you go before a judge, so he revokes your bond and he puts you in jail. Well, these kids have 10 days and then they got to go back before the judge to see if they're going to spend another 10 days or another 15 days until you figure out what you're going to do with these individuals that continue to break the law. Because when it comes to the conditions of release, we have initially like 10 of them, you can't be out past curfew. You can't, hang out with people that break the law. You can't be drinking or drugging, all this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So you can't be doing all this stuff. So as a juvenile, another thing is you must go to school. So if you're not going to school, if you're still hanging out past your curfew, if you're doing all this, that, and the other, then, you go before the judge, you plead the probable cause that you have for them to be taken to detention or to be taken into custody. So once you get to that point, it's easier to take the child into custody because you have probable cause. And and I know that you've heard that statement. What is probable cause? Probable cause is when you have evidence that the person is culpable of what they're being accused for. So, probable cause, they were out after curfew or, they were out breaking the law. They were, doing all kinds of stuff. If this was a juvenile, then you have probable cause to take them into custody. You have probable cause to take them to detention for 10 days. And hopefully in those 10 days, the juvenile will learn their lesson that just not what I want. Then you have the ability to either put them on court order probation, or a lot of times you can put them back on deferred probation. But most of the time, you're going to put them back on court ordered because you either try with deferred and it doesn't work, then you try something else, court order probation, up to a year, and it becomes a lot more intensive. So therefore, you have the individual for a longer period of time because you have realized that this person is a high risk to society. And that is the whole basis of taking juveniles into custody, is you're trying to protect the community from these individuals who continue to violate certain rules and guidelines as well as their conditions of release. So when it comes to an adult, it's identical, it's just worded different. So if you get arrested, you go to jail and you can bond out. Okay, so that would be somebody getting a juvenile, going, breaking the law, and getting arrested by the police. What we do is then at that point, if it's a felony or if it's a violent charge, then what we do is we have the option to take them to detention and hold them for 3 days. Once we hold them for 3 days, then we must have a detention hearing. So once we have the detention hearing, then we still give ourselves the option to take them back into custody for 10 more days, or we decide what we're going to do with them. Are we going to put them on deferred? Are we going to release them to the parents? What are we going to do? At that point, we have different options. I saw that, Nina. I'm gonna show that here in a minute. Let me send it to myself. So that's interesting when you're dealing with all this stuff, because most of the time when you hear, well, they're not eligible for bail as an adult, you know, a, a juvenile is always eligible to be released, either back to the parents or they're going to be held until they, there's a suitable option for them to get out. I'm not jealous. I've put that off for a while myself, and I know quite a few people recently that have had that done. I hope it goes well. And let me show you what Nina sent me. This says, a Houston crime sketch artist releases portrait of the masked suspect in a Nancy Guthrie case. So this is what the sketch artist believes the individual would look like. And that is scary. I wonder if anybody knows that person. There you have it. If y'all haven't seen this, there you have it. Crime sketch artist releases portrait. Let's see if it comes up in a different window. There you go. That way I don't have all my email stuff right there on the side. There you go. That's interesting. Doesn't it kind of look like the brother-in-law? I thought the brother-in-law kind of looked like that guy. And I heard also that there was a neighbor guy that kind of looked like dark colored and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm not well versed on this case. I wish I was. But this is what a sketch artist took their stab at it. And this is what they came up with. That's pretty cool. Those eyes look on point. So does the mustache. I don't know how he would know he had a goatee, though. I guess maybe the hair right here under the lip. Just a random question. Random question for those of you in the chat. Remember how we all wondered how Brian saw his way around in the house? Could this have been the way he saw his way around in the house? Remember that question? Remember that question we all asked ourselves? How can you see in the house? It's so dark. Well, now we've been shown that you can put something in your mouth that looks like a flashlight and walk through the house or the front door, whatever you choose to do. That's interesting. Thank you, Nina. Thank you for that. Yeah, the brother-in-law has too bushy of eyebrows and a grayish beard. No, his beard too off. Couldn't be him. Thank you for that, though. So there is a sketch artist that believes that this is what the dude would look like. Those eyes do look pretty similar, don't they? It looks like somebody that, I don't know. From this picture right here, a lot of people are saying that this is eyebrows that look like a woman, but the closer that I look, it really looks like, as you can see right there, it is the stitching of the mask. But those eyes don't look like a guy's eyes to me, but I could be wrong. I don't know. What do y'all think? But a woman wouldn't have a mustache, would she? Yeah, I just saw that. I just saw the flashlight too. That's wild. I always thought whoever this is has big ass eyes. You're not gonna, it's not gonna be one of those people that you're gonna forget who they are. It looks like they have a very flat face right there, like on the side angle. Like their nose isn't very big. Kind of like this one, very flat featured. Not, see, like I have the cheekbones. And if I was actually wearing a mask like this, you'd see the cheekbone raising. No, I didn't get the pick of the flashlight. So once again, it looks like there's a struggle between local law enforcement and the FBI. Because I keep seeing headlines that say, so they're blocking evidence from the FBI or blah, blah, blah. Look at that one right there. There you can see, is that really a mustache though? Does this look like a man's mouth or like a woman's mouth? Does it look like that? Hard to tell, huh? But I believe that this is the stitching. This is a shadow. It's not an eyebrow. The stitching is actually a lot better than that other mask that they were using as an example. But the mouth to me, it just really, I mean, they have straight teeth, whoever it is. But could it be that guy? Could it be that guy? interesting to even think, who is that man? Have you seen that guy? Is that the guy that was behind the mask? I didn't get the pic of the flashlight. I don't know if you didn't send it. I got the one with the brother-in-law, and I got the other one. I didn't get the flashlight picture. What do you think of the content so far? I hope that if you are not a subscriber, that you decide to subscribe, because we need to put the Idaho 4 case behind us. Don't hold me to fire on that. Let's move beyond it. We're on a new case. We're on a new direction. This is a new direction for the channel. So come on back. Come on back in the chat. Come on back and let's look at the clues together. But this is really cool. This is Houston crime sketch artist releases portrait of mass suspect in Nancy Guthrie case. How many of you think that that really could be the guy? You look at those eyes and look at his eyes. I never knew how a sketch artist could honestly get that close, because they're really good. They're really good. Yeah, I can't get those pictures to come up, but they're pretty cool. Thank you for that. So what do you think? Do y'all know a suspect that they've thrown around that looks like this man? Because if you do, Chewy's in trouble. What do y'all think? Uncle Chewy's in trouble, bro. He's in trouble. I better tell him ICE is on the way, because you better get that lady back. The Bitcoin ain't worth it. And that brings up something that I posted today that is kind of disturbing in itself. I want to end this with this. You know, there's a trend, it seems like, and this is the second case out of Arizona that I've heard of. This one was in Scottsdale, Arizona. Two high school kids had never met each other, but they crossed online through two other guys on Signal. And, you know, these two juveniles broke into this home. They took this person, abducted them, were holding them for ransom for Bitcoins. 6 million in Bitcoin ransom, I think it was, or 60 million. Go watch the short. So think about that. If I were you, if I had an elderly parent, elderly, grandparent, whoever, how even a young daughter, niece, whoever, young person, make sure that they have cameras, make sure that they watch their surroundings, make sure that they're always watching around where they're at, because you never know who's watching you. And that is the scary part about 2026. You never know who's watching you. You're watching me right now, so I know that 5 of you are watching me. There's 2 of you chatting, so the other 3 are just kind of chilling, which is cool. You don't have to chat. We have a new person asking a question. Melissa asks, I want to know where the other person is. I want to know what's in that stupid backpack. No telling what's in that backpack. If they knew who this person was, if she knew the person, Do you think possibly they had duct tape? Do you think they had something to put over her eyes so she wouldn't be able to see? We've watched enough shows where people get abducted. What are some things that you would believe that would be in that backpack? Let me know. I like this. What do you think? What do you think, Foxy Rose? Foxy Loxy? That's what I'm going to call you. Foxy Loxy. I think the backpack is fake stuff. Why do you think that? Why do you think that? I'm not saying you're wrong, but why do you think it's fake stuff? I mean, just for conversational value, why do you think it's fake? What could be in that backpack that would be fake? Maybe a sandwich? Good, good one. Here's another photo that, let me take this down so I don't dox myself. Here's another photo that I was just sent that's pretty cool. Because the camera, what? Somebody put these in color. Because the camera, it showed the camera too much. Foxy Loxy, that's what I'm going to call you. You know who Foxy Loxy is? So somebody made these images and it looks like someone with blue eyes. What the holy shit. But we don't know if the jacket was actually this color or the mask was that color. You know what I mean? It sets up a sideways storyline to follow. Do you mind if I call you Foxy Loxy? Foxy Rose? I don't think it's the daughter. She's too big to be that person. Maybe I'm just a pessimist or optimist, I guess. So think about that. What would, just for the sake of conversation, okay? What would the daughter have to gain out of abducting her own mother? She's going to get caught, right? I think that's weird. A handful of freaking yard rubbish. It's what's weird to me. But look at this image right here. If this is the person, that is wild. Do you know who Foxy Loxy is? I think Foxy Loxy was in Chicken Little. That's what I thought of when I saw your name. But look at these photos. I mean, these are obviously nitrile gloves. I'm trying to tell what kind of shoes he's wearing. Somebody in a chat said he was wearing Vans. Whoever the hell that is not wearing Vans. People just use so many other cases. They jump on it. Those are Vans, and he got the K-bar in between his legs. That's not a gun, it's a K-bar. You get what I'm saying? Oh, there's 12 gauge right there. He does have a gun right there. That is a gun. That is not a K-bar. But I gotta ask a question that I heard somebody else ask. 'Cause I've been watching. I haven't been commenting very much because I don't know enough about this. Why would you put your holster right here? I don't know anybody on the planet that would put their holster where that gun could go off and possibly injure themselves very badly. And you said the feet looked too small? They said they were size 12. But this is a different angle. I mean, they do look small, but maybe these are oversized pants. Because we don't know if this person is really thin underneath this baggy clothes. They're assuming they weigh about 230 pounds. But look at that light in their mouth. Can you imagine standing there with a light in your mouth trying to disable the camera? Let me put this rubbish in over the camera. That'll mess it up. I see Ring cameras every day. And you know, that Ring camera picks you up way before you get close like this. So you can hear that Ring camera dinging or actually talking. You know, it says some kind of ding, 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 whatever as you're walking up. So there's no way in hell that um you're gonna get away with somebody not seeing you. He could have destroyed these cameras all he wanted. You know what I mean? Which he obviously did. But like I'm saying, that Ring camera would have started dinging the moment if this light did come on. The moment the light came on, that camera would have started dinging. Because in my side hustle, that light comes on, you can hear that camera start. It chirps or it does all kinds of different things. You can hear that camera recording you. And it's chirping as you're walking closer. Chirp, 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 or it goes cheep. It whistles, whatever. It does something to let you know it's recorded. Look at this picture right here. That person, whoever the hell it is, has some intent. See, right here, you can really tell they have a goatee, just like that person drew. It's wild. Do you think that this person knew Nancy? I mean, he could have pointed the gun at her. She could have walked out at will. We don't know. 2 in the morning, somebody approaches you and puts a gun to you. Are you going to fight them? Are you going to fight them? No, I don't think you would. But look at how they're holding the gun. That just intrigues the hell out of me. Why would you put the pistol right there? Unless you didn't want anybody to see the gun on your hip. Yeah, I did see that. Knew somebody in their family. Okay, I like your thoughts, but let's dig a little deeper, okay? Let's dig a little deeper since that's what we do. We're being investigative. What would be the payoff of abducting an 84-year-old woman? If you're demanding a ransom, what would be the payoff? Yeah, the left hand does go towards it, like they're holding it in place. But listen to what I'm asking you. Before you answer impulsively, listen to this question. What would be the reason, other than the Bitcoin? Because you know, in 2026, nobody asks for ransom anymore. We haven't heard ransom in a long time because most people don't negotiate with terrorists. You know what I mean? So you asking for ransom, does that mean that that's where your mindset is? Is that what they do in your country? Is it somebody that doesn't live or isn't from this country that did a random abduction and they're used to asking for ransom? You get what I'm saying? Because Americans don't ask for ransom. I can't remember the last case that I heard about where somebody was asking for ransom. Let me know if you've heard of a case where somebody has asked for ransom recently and it was paid. Because I know the federal government doesn't negotiate usually with terrorists, so why would you abduct an 84-year-old woman? What would be the reasoning? And did they take extra medication from the home? Is it somebody who's taken care of her before that might even have that medication that she takes? These are some of the questions that if you logically want answered, these are the questions you ask yourself. What, where, when, how, and who? What happened? She was abducted in the middle of the night. Where? At her home. How? We don't know. We don't know if it was by, well, we know it was by gunpoint, but we don't know if the gun was held on her or if there was a knife or she was, she could have been knocked unconscious. Who? We don't know yet. And what happened? She was abducted. The lights were broken. The camera was broken. The front door was shut, but the back door was open, right? Is that how it went? So he went out the back slider like somebody else we know. And supposedly this crime only took 45 minutes. But people don't think that that's a short time period. 45 minutes is a short time period for all that went on here. Don't you agree or do you disagree? I'm just piggybacking off that other case because I'm trying to show you that there's so many similarities in all these cases that people forget that these things actually happen. Nobody has asked the correlation between this person and Nancy Guthrie. Nobody has even went as far as to say, was there a stalker? An 84-year-old woman having a stalker? How likely is that? Were they going after her daughter's notoriety, her daughter's money? What would cause you to ask for Bitcoin? What would make you ask for Bitcoin? Is Bitcoin untraceable? Could that be the reason that these criminals are asking for Bitcoin all of a sudden? Well, supposedly she was attacked at 212, right? The guy that the FBI talked about was that video I just showed you supposedly happened at 157. So, to your theory, that would mean that what's he doing with all this? If he attacked her as soon as she got home, we wouldn't see all he's trying to cover the camera, don't you think? I mean, he would be in the house. I mean, I'm not trying to punch a hole in your theory. I'm just asking you, though. If he attacked her as soon as she got home, then we would have seen him attack her on the camera, wouldn't we have? Wouldn't we have seen him roll up on her and attack her from the back? Force her in the house, take her out the back door. But why would you see? That's another thing. Why would you take her out the back door if you came in through the front? Bitcoin is when you owe big money to someone now. Okay. Yeah, I don't deal with Bitcoin, so I don't know. I don't know the correlation to it all. But what I'm asking you is, in logical thinking here, who would see? There's that question. Who would go through the front door and leave out the back door? Even our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, Brian Koberger, went in the same way he came out, you know? This person supposedly went in through the front, exited out the back. Think about that. Who does that? What type of person does that? That's the question that I've got going on right now. Okay, he could have startled her, knocked on the door, whatever. 66,000 equals 1 Bitcoin. Wow. And they're asking for what? 6 million of them? So I'm asking you, who does that? This dude obviously did it. What was his motive? What would have caused him to say, okay, I'm going to attack this lady in her home in the middle of the night? Was it a random attack? Or did he know the home? Had any other homes been burglarized or anybody else report suspicious activity throughout the neighborhood? You get what I'm saying? Well, I understand that, but do you believe? Let me ask you this question, okay? If you knock somebody unconscious, do you know how much a heavy unconscious or sleeping body weighs? I used to be a CNA back in the day. So I worked in an infirmary where people were so stiff that they couldn't move themselves. It was at a MHMR hospital. It was an infirmary. Do you realize how heavy someone is when they're dead weight? So how heavy would a dead weight person be? And you're the only one carrying them in the car. Yeah, old people might never wake up. Come on, Foxy Loxy. You know, dead weight, no pun intended, is heavy as hell to carry somebody. To roll them over into bed is hard as hell. Because no telling how heavy Nancy is. If she was dead weight, not dead, just dead weight, knocked out, how heavy that would be trying to either drag her into the car or lift her into the car. You get what I'm saying? So you're not going to knock this person out. You're probably going to have her walk to the car if that's what it is. You know what I mean? Yes, it is. Dead weight is heavy. It is heavy. So I don't believe that she was knocked out. Hell, they probably wouldn't have killed her either and taken her body, because it is heavy as hell, bro. Yeah. Hey, PKC, thank you for being here. So, plus there'd be drag marks. There'd be, it's either were there any footprints? Were there any footprints that they've done casting on? Have they found any footprints? Did they identify this shoe that this man is wearing? Because I can't really tell what kind of shoe that is. It kind of looks like a Nike Air Force One, kind of the older, but then it could be any brand that's just white. Why I think this individual was Hispanic, and I'm not racially profiling this, but most Hispanics wear white shoes. This generation had a thing with white shoes. I myself lean toward black shoes. I don't really like wearing white shoes, but the younger generation, that's how they dress. They dress in baggy pants like that. They're usually holey, and they're white shoes, just like this. Older men wear white shoes like this too. So I'm not discriminating. It could be an older gentleman. But older men usually wear Avias, New Balance, something like that. But the younger generation do have the Air Force Ones. And they look like that. They have like holes in the top of the shoe right here, Nike swoosh, and they're kind of flat like this. I have a black pair and a I guess caramel colored pair. But the mask, I don't know if it's really brown like that or if it just, they're guessing. I mean, I don't even know but doesn't this jacket look like the same jacket the dude was wearing in that video I played you a couple minutes ago? Let me play it again. Let me go fetch it from my page. Look at this dude's jacket. Okay. Hold on a second. Look at this dude's jacket. The jacket you just saw. Take a look at this dude's jacket. Does that not look like the same kind of jacket? Granted, that other one was blue. This one is brown. Green color. Does that not look like the same jacket? Look at the pants. Does that not look like the same jacket? Yes or no? Holla at your boy. Yes or no? Tell me yes, tell me no. What y'all think? Does that look like the same jacket or no? Am I being delusional? Holla at your boy. Let me know. Because I'm going to play it again. Let me rewind it. That music is just trippy to me. That's why I love it. Okay, there's a still shot right there. I can't make this. Let me see if I can make this bigger. Okay. There's a bigger shot right there. It's a baggy jacket. Could that be the same type jacket that we saw a while ago? See, don't those pants look like the same? See, they're gray, baggy looking. If this dude has a green mask, he's cooked. Those pants get me because they're kind of baggy, bro. The jacket, too. So this jacket, let me go back to the other picture. If that jacket was unzipped, would it be the same kind of jacket as this? Don't look at this as being the color of the jacket because somebody added color to this. So we can't tell exactly if that's the color of the jacket or not. Yeah, that's what I'm saying is don't go on the color right here because somebody added color here. So we can't tell if that's the identical color, but look at the jacket shape. Does it not look? The pants look the same to me. Look at those pants. Do they not look like the same type material? And and supposedly he had that backpack. At the end of that short, it showed the reflective stuff on that. It's just crazy. What are the odds that this guy was 16 miles away from this home? 19 minutes away from Nancy Guthrie's house, trying to go over that fence. I mean, this is just a colored photo, so we don't even know if he has blue eyes, but somebody colored this, and we don't even know if I've never seen a brown ski mask. I'm sure they make them, but I've never seen them. You know, I've seen green, I've seen black, I've seen white. Yeah, one is skinnier, but like I was saying, this jacket can make this one look bigger. I don't know. I'm not trying to be conspiracy here. I know that there's not just one backpack like this one in the world. But if he bought this anywhere in the vicinity, they're going to find it. They're going to track that backpack down to who bought it. And he better pray to God that he bought it with a gift card or something else, that somebody bought it for him, or he paid cash. Oh, that's not even safe. But it's a trip, is it not? This case is a trip. I guess it's so much of a trip because of all the BS that we went through for the last 3 years in Idaho. It makes you not trust nothing. I don't trust any of this. To be honest, I do trust the camera, but I don't trust all that other stuff that they're showing me. I wish I could. Idaho ruined my trust on true crime. It really did. It took my trust, it took my ability to see outside the box. I still believe he's guilty, but as far as everything else, people have warped that case so much, I forgot other than the 4 people died. I pray to God that Nancy's still alive. If they didn't kill her, hopefully her medication was stable enough that 12 days, was enough time to get her back. You know what I mean? Because that's all anybody wants is her to come back. safe, right? Isn't that any family would just want their loved one to come home safe? That's all anybody would want. I hope you've enjoyed this. My name is 12 Gauge, and this is my channel, 12 Gauge Investigative. I hope this case turns out positive, because we do need some positive cases. If you know anybody who doesn't know about the channel, let them know about 12 Gauge Investigative. Tonight we're talking Nancy. Tomorrow we could talk about lasagna. It's never a one-stop show here. I do investigate a lot of different things because I just enjoy digging deep. Digging deep. Because isn't that what we all enjoy? Otherwise we wouldn't be here. Thank you so much. Stay safe out there. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. And if you have a day off on Monday, enjoy your day off. Do something productive. Get off the internet. Till next time, Maestro, cue that music.